Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And we're working back through the letter M, and we're starting to get to some of the more popular M's. But first, we have to deal with this interesting collection of things. Oh, yeah. First, William Mathias. William Mathias was a wonderful composer. His life was rather short. His dates were 1934 to 1992. His harp concerto is a knockout. His first couple symphonies are gorgeous. They were recorded on Nimbus. The harp concerto was on Lyrita, along with one of his piano concerti, which sounds like Prokofiev meets Tippett. Really interesting stuff. And this particular disc contains the Dance Overture, the Divertimento for String Orchestra, Invocation and Dance, the Prelude, Aria, and Finale for String Orchestra, his Sinfonietta, Opus 34, which is delightful, Laudi, and Vistas. Now, all sorts of people are playing this stuff. I don't have to go into the details. His style is lovely. He's best known for his choral works. Lots and lots of choral works. He was Welsh. I guess that means he has to write choral works. And his idiom is sort of a mixture of Tippett. It's very English sounding, the Tippett and contrapuntal and that fourth-based harmonies and it's that kind of thing. Post-Tippett. But it's often very melodic and wonderfully evocative stuff. His output was not huge because, like I said, he only made it to be, how old was he? 34 to 90 to 58. He wasn't that old when he passed away, but he's, I think, a very, very personal and powerful musical voice, and I like his music very much. Most of my Mathias stuff is upstairs in the main collection, but this made it into the Overflow room, so I can tell you about it now. And then we have 3 discs of Mathieu. Now, Mathieu was a Canadian composer, pianist composer, whose life was essentially, his composing life was very short-lived. And he wrote a bunch of things back when Canada was, Mathieu lived from 1929 to 1968. He was a child prodigy, I think. I mean, he had 15 minutes of fame a little while ago. I actually was interviewed on television because of this disc. Canadian TV came to talk to me with Alan Lefebvre, the pianist, a very good pianist from Canada, and the Orchestre Symphonique de Quebec under Yoav Talmy doing Mathieu's Concerto de Quebec, his big piano concerto. His style was post-Rachmaninoff, very hyper-romantic, very slushy, formally a little bit loose, very attractive and fun to listen to. So this disc is on Analecta. It also has the Warsaw Concerto and the Gershwin Concerto in F. But this Concerto de Quebec was sort of, Analecta's effort, the label, to make Mathieu a thing, like Gershwin was a thing. Didn't really go very far. It didn't really work that well. Maybe because Mathieu, at the end of the day, just wasn't a distinctive enough musical voice, but it's awfully enjoyable, which is what I basically said for the TV show. So there's that disc. Then we have archive recordings of the Symphonie Romantique for piano and orchestra, also known as the Concerto de Quebec. But in this case, it's with Philippe Entremont and Michel Plasson and the Toulouse Symphony Orchestra, recorded in 1978. And then his ballet scenes, which are quite attractive. So that's an interesting little thing. He's a real little classical pops guy, Canadian wilderness type stuff. And then we've got piano music. We have the Concerto de Quebec. It's like the only thing of his that survives, or things that he wrote, with the version for solo piano, or at least a piece of it. And then Canadian Spring, Canadian Summer, Prelude Romantique. These are solo piano works with Alain Lefebvre. The Lullaby, his Laurentien number 2, Bagatelle, The Seagulls, Sadness, another Bagatelle, In the Night, and stinging bees, abeilles piquantes. Yes, zip, gotcha. Kind of interesting here. And let's see, what else do we have here? Two other works by other composers, Boris Petrovsky and Walter Boudreau. All very nicely played by Alain Lefebvre. So that was interesting. I mean, they really tried hard to do something with Mathieu. And Lefebvre particularly championed his music very effectively for a while. He seems to have faded in the meantime. But the discs are there, and the Concerto de Quebec is fun. It really is. Give it a shot. And then last but not least, Overflow von Matačić. Well, we've just been talking about him, haven't we? There was a super fun box of his stuff. And this is the EMI artist profile. It contains his Scheherazade, which is lots of fun, and Tchaikovsky, Eugene Onegin extracts, and the Hamlet Fantasy Overture. Bruckner Symphony No. 0, just the scherzo. Tchaikovsky's Suite No. 3, only the finale, of course. And let's see what else we got. The Storm, Tchaikovsky's The Storm, and Glazanov's Suite from Raymonda. I like programs of strange Russian things and fluffy objects, and so this is a lot of fun as well. Matačić was an exciting conductor. He really was. He used all the corrupt editions of the Bruckner symphonies, and he did a lot of Bruckner, so that sort of dates him. But he was a good composer of the razzle-dazzle Russian romantics and things like that. He was from Yugoslavia, if I'm not mistaken, back in the days when Yugoslavia was Yugoslavia. Anyway, so that's it. That's this bunch of M's. And after Matačić, we have MAS, which means Massenet is coming up. So stick around. Some fun things are in the works. And keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.